Okay, so this video is to go over how you are to complete the Unit 5 test corrections if you would like to raise your grade. So instead of doing retesting this time, this test actually lends itself real well to being able to go through and do test corrections. Um, so this is going to explain to you how you do it. The test corrections have to be done this way. So you can start doing the test corrections from Tuesday, November 30th, which I'm recording this on Monday, so that would be tomorrow, through next Monday at 3:45. You cannot work on test corrections after um, next Monday at 3:45. They have to be completed by then. So how it works is, sorry, I didn't want everything up there. All right, so how it works is that you're going to need to go to Eduphoria because that is where your test is located. And then you're going to look for the test in the section that says select a test to review. And of course, it's called Unit 5 Chemical Formulas. There are a few of you that completed the test on paper copies. And for those of you, I will give you your paper copy back so that you have it. It's done in the same order as what the one online is. So you will need to be on Eduphoria. You'll need to get into Eduphoria and select that test to review it, because whenever you go there, you are able to see what questions you got right, what questions you got wrong, and what your old answer choices were. So you'll open up on Schoology, which I'll show you real fast. On Schoology, there is the Google form. This is the correction sheet. So this course first section here is uh, just basic information so that I know who you are and I can make sure I know who's filling it out, which will allow me to give your grade. Okay, so anyway, so the Google form is here. Okay, um, so you'll need to open that up. So you'll need to have the Google form open as well as the test open. So you can try split screening it. You can just tab back and forth, however that works for you. You're also going to need the flow chart from class and the access to the periodic table and the list of polyatomic ions. You can get those from me if you want them. You can also use your foldable if you have it. In case you're not able to get the paper from me or you just don't want extra paper, in that folder, which is currently not open to you, it'll be open tomorrow at 7 a.m. You have this is everything you were given on test day. You have the periodic table, and then you have the back of the periodic table. And this time I remember to put ammonium and hydroxide on there. So this is the same thing you were given. It has your polyatomic ions, it has your Roman numerals, the prefixes, and also the information on how to help you determine the charge of a transition metal. And then, of course, your periodic table with the charges of known ions. And then the other one is the flow chart to help you um, that you follow the flow chart. So this one here is if you're given the name, I want you to give me the formula. So this is the flow chart you follow for that. It helps you know how to write the formula. The other one is if you're given the formula and I want you to name it. This one goes through. So you start with the formula and then it tells you how to name it. So you do have access to those. These are the two things I was talking about. If you need it, if you want a paper copy, you can get a paper copy from me in class or in tutorials. So those are there on Schoology for you. So you'll need all of those things. So the Google form, that's where you're actually doing your test corrections, and you'll need a tab back and forth between the test and Eduphoria and the Google form. You also need your periodic table and the polyatomic ions and that stuff. So what to do? Essentially, you're going to just follow the Google form. So for each question, so there's 20 questions. You will start by selecting the very first question for each question that comes up on the corrections is whether or not you got the question right or wrong. And Eduphoria will tell you whether it is right or wrong. If you got the question right, it's once you click yes, and so it's going to ask, did you get it right? And you say yes, it's going, and you hit submit or next. Sorry, you hit next, it's going to send you to a section. They've got weird numbers. That's because I had to do it this way so that I could create this form. But it's going to send you the next question it brings up for you. Then, if you said you got the question right, is where you put what that correct answer was. So I do know on Eduphoria, because I was looking tonight on another student's, I do know that Eduphoria does not put A, B, C, D, or F, G, H, J. It just has it in order. So this is just to let you know, because you have to select A, B, C, D, or F, G, H, J on the Google form. So your top answer is A, the bottom answer is D, or the top answer is F, the bottom answer is J. So it goes in order. And then once you select the correct answer, you move, it'll take you to the next question. You do the same thing for question 2. Did you get it right or did you get it wrong? And let's say, for instance, question number 2, you got wrong. So whenever you say that you got a question wrong, so when it's saying, did you get the question right, and you hit no, if you did not get the question wrong, what it's going to do, it's going to send you through a series of questions. And these series of questions are essentially walking you through the flow chart to help you come up with the correct answer. That is the whole point of this, of doing test corrections, is so that you can learn the material you didn't learn the first time. So if you answer the first question that says, did you get the question right? And you say no, it's going to send you through a series of questions, basically looking at the flow chart to help you come up with the correct answer. Once you get through those series of questions, you're going to still answer the same question that those who got it right answer, which is what's the correct answer. And once again, answer choices: A's at top, or F's at top, D's at bottom, or J's at bottom. When you're working on the correcting a wrong answer, so whenever you say you did not get the question right, so you said no, and it sends you through those series of questions. The interim questions, which means those questions that are there to help you come up with the correct answer, they are self-checking questions. So we've done Google Forms like this a couple times in class. What self-checking means is that if you select the wrong answer and you hit next, you can't move on to the next question until you get that question correct. Okay, so as you're doing those questions, if you notice you're getting the same exact question over and over and over and over again, you can't move on. That is because you have your answer to that question is wrong. Okay, so choose a different answer, get some help. Either way, but that's what it means. So those interim questions, not the ones that ask, did you get it right? Or the ones that ask for the correct answer, but all the other questions, those questions are self-checking. If you do not have the right answer, it will not let you move on to the next question. So how does this help your grade? So every question that you get right the second time, you're going to get back half credit. Okay, so every question was worth 5 points, which means you would get essentially back really and truly 3 points for every question, pretty much, because 2.5 rounds up to 3. Once you submit your test corrections, what you're going to want to do is you'll go to your school Gmail account, and whenever you go to your school Gmail account, you'll get what your test correction score is. And then this is how your new test grade is calculated, and it also has this on that email. You're going to take the grades you made on the test corrections, subtract from that your original grade. So go check Skyward, it's got your grades in there. So let's say test corrections, I make a 100 on. My original grade, trying to think one off the top of my head. Well, let's just do 50. Okay, let's just say I made a 50. Okay, so 100 minus 50 gives me a 50. Next thing you'll do, you're going to divide that number by 2. So 50 divided by 2 is 25. Then you add that to your original test grade. So my original test grade was 50. I add 25 to it. That means my new test grade is going to be 75. So that's how it works for the grade. And once again, like I said, that is on your email that you get after you submit your answers. Test corrections can be completed through Monday, December 6th by 3:45. You can work on them at any time. School, home, tutorials, during class. If you're done with all your other work and all your missing work, you can work on them anytime, as long as they're submitted by 3:45 on next Monday. Because at 3:45, I will go in and I will not accept answers anymore. Once again, you earn back half credit on the questions you get right the second time. The absolute lowest grade that anyone can receive from doing these corrections, let's say, or doing these corrections, if you make 100% on the test corrections, is a 75. So if you go through and you make 100 on the test corrections, you are guaranteed at least a 75 in the grade book. It just depends on what your normal grade was or what your original grade was. The absolute highest grade any student can earn after doing test corrections is a 99. Test corrections can be completed by any student, so you did not have to fail the test. You could have passed the test. You could have made a 98 and you really want that 99. Okay, so that's up to you. So test corrections can be completed by any student. So that's how you complete test corrections. Work on them, like I said, anytime. You work on them at home. You can work on them at school. If you're working on them in my class, and I would actually say any of your classes, make sure you do your actual classwork first. You can come for tutoring if you have questions while you're going through. But I hope that this works with raising your grades.